The rise of Adolf Hitler and Nazi Germany marks one of the most pivotal and terrifying chapters of the 20th century. Hitler, a man with no obvious path to greatness, transformed himself into a figure who commanded mass devotion and drove the world into war. Understanding how he rose to power requires looking not only at Germany's troubled circumstances, but also at the extraordinary force of his personal charisma and propaganda machine. Germany in the 1920s and early 1930s was a nation in crisis. Crushed by the terms of the Treaty of Versailles, crippled by hyperinflation and then the global depression, and plagued by political instability, the Weimar Republic left millions disillusioned. Hitler stepped into this void by presenting himself as a savior who could restore Germany's pride and prosperity. His message tapped into collective frustration and yearning, offering simple answers to complex problems and identifying scapegoats to blame. Two clear examples show how Hitler built his following. First, his use of propaganda and mass media created a cult of personality. Through rallies, radio, newspapers, and film, he projected an image of strength, certainty, and destiny. Spectacles like the Nuremberg rallies were carefully choreographed to overwhelm audiences and inspire devotion. Second, Hitler maneuvered within the democratic system itself, gaining votes and parliamentary seats until he was legally appointed Chancellor in 1933. Within months, he consolidated power into a dictatorship. Historians often point to a perfect storm of circumstances: Germany's economic despair, wounded national pride, and weak democratic institutions as the fertile soil in which Hitler flourished. Yet others stress that millions of ordinary Germans actively embraced him, showing that his rise was not inevitable but made possible by public support as well as fear. The subject remains controversial. Some argue that focusing too much on Hitler's personal charisma oversimplifies the structural forces that enabled Nazism. Others warn that studying his oratory and propaganda risks normalizing one of history's darkest figures. Still, understanding his rise remains essential. Hitler's ascent offers enduring lessons: the dangers of charismatic leadership unchecked by institutions, the fragility of democracy under pressure, and the terrifying power of propaganda to shape mass belief. By seeing how one man hypnotized a nation, we can better guard against the conditions that allow authoritarianism to take root again.